Okay, recording is on. So yeah, sorry again. Welcome, Jen. Yeah, welcome, Yan. Thank you. And we will target on the May 8th to officially start. So before that, you're just invited to warm up, to join this meeting.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. The meeting time, we talked about alternate the meeting time every other week. So let's, Ramya, it's basically, yeah, thank you for your flexibility, but let's see if we can just pick another time that is better for you and we can alternate every other week. If you have suggestions, just type here, then I will, everybody, where is everyone? So pick a time that most people can join. Maybe not everyone, but then we can alternate that every week until Tanya mentioned that the new hire may be made. The offer may be made soon. So once the new hire comes, we can adjust the meeting time again. Yeah. So. Yeah, just to let us know what time works better for you. I will reschedule the meeting to alternate every other week.
Yeah, sure. I'll just take a look at the other time zones and I'll just come up with a physical time.
Yeah, and there isn't a perfect time, so don't worry. Someone will skip 1 week. That's not a problem. We always have recording.
Sure. Yeah. Thank you. Thanks.
Cool. Okay. That's. Yeah, Camille, have you sorted out your schedule when you target to fully transfer over to this memory project?
I talked briefly yesterday with Daria about that, and we concluded that we're gonna spend our next meeting before me taking off on figuring out the exact date. Ideally, it should be basically right after the contribute. So we're trying to figure out if this is the right time or if there is something else. But preliminary, we're really targeting at the right after contribute right now.
Okay, so our target is right after the target to contribute. Okay, then officially Yan will be the first member of this team. You lose the champion.
Not really. On the team page, I'm already a member of the team, so.
Yeah, just to clarify, Kamil, you are transitioning as a stable member because I'm transitioning just temporarily. So just to be okay,
yeah,
cool.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah,
yes.
So I'm just a guest. Kamil will be the first member.
Speaking of full time,
you will not steal that spot from me. Sorry.
Speaking of full time, part time, Yan, you're officially the first member of the team. Okay, cool. We nailed down that, and so my next topic is a suggestion for the first iteration. So basically, I want to show this really quick. I put all the known issues here and used this things like the functional areas and the task type to categorize. So you can see the category and type here, and the data pivot table analysis. So the concentration is the Puma Ruby language itself or Ruby versions and Sidekick. Those are the functional areas we see most tickets or issues here. And then the ticket type is feature request and investigation. So looking at this table, I suggested that first iteration, we start from something within this box, these cells. So I went through this idea with Camille, and he was also thinking the Puma probably is the first target we can focus on. So that's well defined in this square. And of course, there are more things we need to nail down, more detail we need to nail down. So that's my thoughts. What do you think? What do everybody think about that?
Yeah, so to me it makes a lot of sense. Related to this is, yeah, I agree that Puma sounds like a good starting point. Related to this is another bit I added later to the document is that I wonder if we already have a tooling for measuring our improvements, whichever we do, because supposing that we start with Puma and we do some improvements, do we have any tooling by which we are going to measure this? I think it's related to the memory testbed,
Yeah.
but I could be wrong.
Yeah,
So,
I agree. I think.
So, yeah, my thought was that it would be awesome to have this tool before we start on improvements.
Yeah, QE team has been working on that, and we have the test bed or pilot or proof of concept of the test bed up, and some tests are running there already. So probably, I don't have more detail here, but maybe Ramya can tell us what measurement, what metrics we can collect from that test bed already. And does that help us to measure the Puma improvements?
Sure. So as of now, we just have tests which would okay, yeah, the tests that we have, it actually collects some front-end metrics like the using site speed, and also we have few. We have the integration with Prometheus, which has bunch of metrics, right? So from where we can extract the CPU and memory usage and a lot more metrics as well. So yeah, so those are the things available, and we have the integration study. So we have yeah, so this is what we have as of now.
Cool. Sounds like we have the basic numbers ready to be pulled. So let's work with that. I mean, let's use that platform. And as we discover that maybe we need more data, then we can always enhance the platform to gather that data or collect that data. Sounds like we have something working already, and that will be good for our first iteration.
So sorry for jumping in. The test bed is also being shared with Stan right now, because we only have one for everything performance. Stan is also testing performance improvements from 11.5 to 11.9. This recording is not going to be posted on YouTube, is it? Or only for?
Yeah, this will be posted on YouTube.
Okay, so I won't mention the customer name, but we need to show some improvements for them to be confident that 11.9 will solve all their problems. Mm-hmm. And right now we need to run some tests, well, not some, a lot of tests on 11.5, get that number, upgrade to 11.9, run the same thing, and then show them, hey, these are the improvements that we have from 11.5 to 11.9. Then they will consider upgrading.
Okay.
And it's kind of urgent, because if we don't do this, and they'll still be on 11.5, which is not a good place to be, because it's an old release, we don't support it anymore. And we don't know if there could be other performance implications if they continue to use 11.5 on NFS the way they're using. So I'm going to link the test plan that Ramya is also working with Stan on this, but this team needs to be aware that that's also ongoing with that test bed.
Okay. I do have a question, but maybe we can work offline. So we're using a shared test bed. Then usually performance tests should be isolated from the rest of the world. That will tell us the true numbers. So we can work offline.
Yeah, I mean, the data will be static. We just need to time share it a little bit. There's going to be another test bed coming up, the second one. That's going to be delivered by Anthony Sadova from infrastructure. So we would potentially have two that we will rotate.
Okay, yeah, no problem. I'm just trying to find out if we can isolate and reduce the noise to the system. Like we are running our test. Meanwhile, there is other workload in the system. That fluctuation may impact our numbers. I mean,
Yep, I think we need to draw a line when someone is done with that and pass it over. Right now, the person running performance tests is the same person on the quality engineering side. So I mean, it's still single threaded there.
Okay, cool. Okay, and also just coming back to this topic, so the table, the spreadsheet I shared, and the square that is those cells is here. So Puma, Sidekiq, Ruby is a target of the functional areas, and then the investigation and the feature requests are. The feature request actually includes that we need to add the metrics, the Puma metrics to prom seers, and those kind of things are feature requests. So these things are well included in that cell. So we can work on that. If everybody agrees that's a good first target area, we can plan on that to articulate our first iteration backlog. Yeah, and also I want to explain my thoughts, and please correct me if I'm wrong. So for our near-term goal, we really want to clearly articulate our backlog, and then also prioritize our focus. So I think although there are tickets or issues around the Gitly and vanilla omnibus install, blah, blah, blah. But I think based on the analysis, I suggest the priority will be these three products and the ticket types here. So if you have concern, please let me know. But that's my thoughts. I'm just sharing my thoughts here. And I will work with Camille to articulate. We already had some ideas how to articulate the issues. Yeah, and acceptance criteria, of course, this is my suggestion. We have a backlog to work on. We have a backlog of engineering epics and stories that we can actually start the hands-on work for first iteration and the future iterations. And a stretch goal is to even further break down the stories to tasks. So it's a more granular breakdown of the stories. So that's my my thinking of acceptance criteria for first iteration. Yeah. And Camille has a comment here. It seems that the best bet for now is to work on the Puma and everything related to that. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, that's very well in this defined scope. Yeah.
So I had a quick question. So for Puma, what do we need to measure? Is it RAM, memory, correct? Absolute memory use. What's the
memory latency? Memory latency. How long it takes like to backlog? Amount of like garbage collection, if we can measure that. Basically, trying to like get most of like our metrics that we have for Unicorn also exposed for the Puma web server. There was also the comment that we need a feature like the ability to kill requests when they are like running for longer periods than some of those. But I would say everything that is related to latency and time of the processing and the footprint of the processing single request.
Yeah. Camille, would you mind to make an issue and articulate those things? So, Mac, exactly, that's what I would like Camille and the team to articulate in the issues, so we know exactly what we are looking for and what we are going to do. Yeah,
that was my concern, because I think Puma is a new thing, right? I don't think Puma supports Prometheus, so we need to measure things before it goes into Puma and measure the response time until we instrument whatever new component. But yeah, I think that's a good point. So that we know that we need to watch for this. Thanks for clarifying. Sorry.
So like historically, we had very short period in GitLab history, like 4 years ago, when we used Puma for very short periods. We chose in the end Unicorn because it didn't have like some very nasty multi-threaded bugs that we did not have with the Unicorn. But technically, like we already have the infrastructure, for example, for measuring the queuing time. Like we do that already for Unicorn, so it's rather like replicating the behavior that we use for the Unicorn also on Puma. How long the request lives in the queue, and is it actually like better if you have the higher load? So it's really like Puma does basically. What would be interesting to know if Puma does provide you more throughput than Unicorn in the given time slice, basically, because it would be like the measure of this server being more efficient in processing requests on one of the traits at least. I mean, more throughput in terms of the amount of the request processed, like per given time frame.
Makes sense.
Yeah, I would say let's articulate the detail, like what exactly metrics we are looking for into an issue, so we know what we are targeting and our acceptance criteria. Like we get the metrics for those things, or we get data for those metrics, or we cannot get data for those metrics. Cool. Any questions around this? Okay, let's move on to Jen, your item.
Yeah, we already discussed the first item was about the memory test bed. I have one more item there. When I was going through your document, I didn't notice any note about Node.js, which seems like another nice thing to look at because it consumes a lot of memory. So I was wondering if it's in scope of this team or not.
Everything about memory and performance is in scope. So would you mind to make an issue, tag it with memory, so we can track it, and then further in the future we shall break down to more actionable items. And yeah, I will use the same pivot table analysis to see when we can prioritize that. Yeah, I think everything about memory and performance is in scope of this team.
Okay, so I will create an issue and link it to the Epic. Or...
Yeah, thank you. And yeah, Max said Stan is also working on working with Ramya on the React 11.5 to 11.9 performance. Cool, that's great. Any more you want to mention, Mac?
Thanks for asking. No, we have a few updates down below, so we'll wait until we're done with the next line item.
Cool. Okay. My next item is a hiring update, a really quick hiring update. So our pipeline, this is a dev side. Dev side pipeline is kind of dry. We almost run out of all candidates and just pulled 2 more candidates from other jobs this morning. So now we have 9 active interviews, and we have a lot of those are we haven't heard back from the candidates. So I'm working with a recruiter to be more proactive to reach out. Right now, 1 candidate is in the last round of interviews with hiring manager and executive. So that candidate is in this stage. All others are still at the screening or the tech interview stage. So that's a quick update of the hiring. Not too bad, but we need to spend more time on that. I'm working on that, so just update. Yeah, Yan, how much should we focus on real? Yeah, I will pass you a couple links. So we are, Camille and I, we already defined our criteria for hiring, and also for both the manager and the engineer, and also the global optimization plan, the exit plan, engagement and exit. I will share the link with you. So Yeah, let me type
Cool,
here.
thanks.
Yeah, I'll put it here. Sorry, Mac. Cool. Okay, thank you. Yeah, Mac's update here. Yeah, Ramya, update on the metrics. Please go ahead.
So we have site speed integrated, and there's a channel called QA-performance. And what we do is, like, every time the test is run, the site speed metrics are actually posted to the Slack channel. So we are planning to have it scheduled periodically, maybe like twice a day to start with. And yeah, so that's about the site speed integration. This is similar to the one that we have in production, right? Like, we have a site speed integration with production, and we have like static URLs, and we just keep checking the front end metrics, like the first visual paint, or yeah, there are a bunch of metrics. Like, if you actually take a look at QA performance, you should be able to see the latest runs results. And we'll also be adding a few more URLs, like which would usually take very long time, and this would be static, and it will always remain in the test bed. Like, say MR with a lot of discussions and very huge files, and how long does it take to actually load? So all of those things, like that will be there. And the things to do is, like, a bunch of meaningful URLs should be added. So for that, we are actually planning to import a few repos, like from GitHub. We actually did it in last time, and then so there were like a few hiccups around that. Like, we downgraded to 11.5 just for us to test for the customer, and the import is actually pretty. I mean, it did not work well, so we had issues around that, and we are just upgrading it. And so I did not put in the actual URLs, the static URLs. So that is one thing to be done. And second thing is to create a Grafana dashboard wherein it would actually show the trend and comparisons between the previous week and the previous day, and so on. So that's yet to be done in this line. And Prometheus configuration is also set up. And again, here we need to set up a Grafana dashboard which would show the metrics that we actually are interested in.
Great.
Yeah.
Cool. Very cool. And looks like the Prometheus is ready. It's up and running. So we probably should be ready to work on the Puma, pushing Puma metrics into the Prometheus. There is an issue about that, and Camille and I just talked about it this morning. So that's probably the first thing we want to do before we actually do something to Puma, because we need the data. We need to see the data before we do anything.
Before we move on, I want to chime in a little bit here. So our team is getting into a strange situation, because now testing also has this chicken and egg problem. We can't set up big repos to test, because the GitHub import is failing, and we need to fix performance there as well, right? So I mean, to know performance, you need to import, and import's not working because imports can't do performance imports. So
Mike, let's talk, like, have another meeting outside of that, and let's try to figure out.
Just want to let you know and set the level set here with everybody that performance is a key challenge, right? It's due to Sidekick being killed. I already posted the link there. Some complexity here because GitHub GitLab import is being done by the managed team, so there may be favors for us asking them to fix on this. There's also one fix going in as the feature flag to disable Git LFS checks, which are going to get killed. So that's going to be our ticket in the interim. But right now, yeah, it's we do have obstacles on other fronts as well.
Yeah, Mac, can you schedule a working meeting to discuss what we can do there? Maybe we can chop the big repo, multiple stage import. I don't know if that's possible, but let's schedule a working meeting or even or offline or async discussion in the email. What we can do.
Probably, I'll let Rania tag us in the issue, because I mean, having a synchronous thing. I think this is already the working meeting, right? So let's just pour into the issues and then get people's.
Yeah, async is totally fine.
Yeah, Rania, do we have an issue for that import, or is it in the rugged test plan? Do we need another one? to capture the import?
Actually, I have another issue for import. Maybe apart from the test plan, the rugged test plan, we have one more. Oh yeah, you have linked it already, right? So that's the one.
That's the one. Okay. 1 second. I'll just link Stan's discussion, and then that's the issue, and then and before, I think we have some questions around. So Ramya, from your best guess, I think you made a lot of progress. What's your take on the progress on the overall performance of OKR from our side?
So I would say like it's around 70%. So that would be the progress we have made till now.
Okay, and for now, and then towards the end of the quarter, I think we should be able to close it out at 85. I think we are discounting our numbers a little bit because we don't have a dedicated test bed, but we have free, so it's kind of a handicap there. But looks like we're looking good to close it out.
Sure. Yeah, 85 should be.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I'm just iterating it here for visibility for everybody.
Cool. And the last item, Mac, about the QE transition for the test automation.
Yes, so I have both my managers here, and then I think it's beneficial for us to discuss it here as well. But my plan, well, Ramya is now the resident and expert with Sanad. I think we should define a timeline for the people that are transitioning in and transitioning out. I'm not sure if we should just do it in a table in this document. I'm okay with that as well, or come up with a new issue. But my plan is to have Ramya and Sanad help train Tanya and the new person. And then Ramya needs to move back to dev because there's also other fires we need to put out in the dev side of things as well. But Sanad will stay on for a bit longer because he configured the Gatling load testing. He knows some parts of this already, so he would be in a good position to boot up the dedicated test automation engineer. And thanks to Kisser person here. But yeah, thanks for trading the vacancies with us.
Do you want me to set up a table in here?
Based on the... Shun, what's your preference? You want an issue or a quick draft here? What's
whatever the way works best for you. I mean, it's just visible. Everybody can know where we are and the plan is. Whatever way is comfortable for you, I'm good.
I'll do an issue then.
Yeah, the issue probably is more visible. Yeah.
I'll link it here.
Thank you for, and also thank you for Ramya. It's excellent work. I know. I know Gatling is not easy to set up. It easily takes a week to set up Gatling.
Yeah, today is her day off as well, so thanks for joining the meeting, Ramya.
Thank you. Okay, I guess we reached the end of our meeting. We are over time. So thank you very much, everybody. And I will assign items and then post the links here afterwards.
Thank you.
Bye.